One of the most trusted tenets or guiding principles in marketing is the idea, know your audience, know your customer, right? Because marketing, communication in general, is about a message and then someone receiving your message. But let's get out of the marketing sphere for a moment. And I want to take that idea of know your audience, know the person who's receiving your message, and I want to drop it squarely into the personal, or rather the interpersonal, right? One of the big ideas in therapy, of course, and it's a classic idea in therapy, so we're no longer in the corporate now, we're going to try to resolve tension interpersonally and within the classic therapy structure, is the idea of sticking to I statements, particularly I statements regarding feelings. I feel this, I feel that. I remember very early days, both as an individual and in couples therapy. I'd go in and you're frustrated, you're mad, you're upset, you're concerned, all these things around what the other person does, what the other person says, and the other this and the other that. And it's a wonderful misdirection from all your own shit, right? A great misdirection from all that. The problem is there's so much projection that goes on and so much misunderstandings, and so often the real work in this life is to come back to yourself, is to try to figure out what's going on with you, right? Neither good nor bad, not wrong nor right, but becoming a student of the self. What's going on with you? Where am I coming from? What's the history behind that? And how can I have understanding and empathy for those feelings and thoughts and all that stuff? But today I want to turn on its head, because this notion of knowing your audience, knowing your customer, okay? Knowing your target market. Very powerful, really important. So the next time you find yourself in a situation with a loved one or someone at work or whatever, and there is a frustration, there is a misunderstanding, there seems to be a disconnect, there's tension, anxiety, anger, whatever. I want you to ask the other person, well, what do you think I mean? Okay? What do you think I mean by what I've said or done? Now, notice, you got to be careful. There's what you do and how you do it. If you can say to someone, well, what do you think I mean? That's not going to work, right? Sure, you get to vent, but the problem with that is there's many problems with that. I'm not even going to drill down to that, but it's not going to work, okay? It's going to work backwards for you and this other person trying to resolve something. However, if you can calmly, and again, it's all about trust. If you've built up some trust or can establish a moment of trust in a heated exchange, and you say to someone and they can understand where you're coming from on this, that, okay, well, look, let's approach it the other way, okay? Rather than you and I sticking to trying to authentically share our views and where we're coming from, and there's so much value in that, let's turn it around for a moment. And I want you to tell me your best guess. Okay, there's no points. I'm not looking for you to be accurate. We're not going to tisk each other and judge for being wrong about this and that. Because frankly, when somebody misunderstands you, to what degree should you be taking responsibility for being misunderstood? If you think your sister or your son or someone at work is deliberately trying to misunderstand you, oh no, most people understand both for selfish gain and for more altruistic, okay? Understanding the other person's a very good idea. Now, they may not be trying their very best, but odds are they're trying pretty hard to understand you. And so often, when someone doesn't understand us, too often, we're tempted to go somehow, rather than saying, hey, look, I'm sorry. I am sorry. Or even, hey, forgive me. I've dropped the ball here. I've tried my best to explain myself to you, but you're still not quite understanding where I'm coming from. And in fact, I was tempted to blame you, or maybe blame me, rather than just take some responsibility and let's work this problem together. Is there some change? Is there some shift I can make on my end so that maybe you can better understand me? It's such a far cry from the typical response so many of us have, right? Where someone's not understanding us, we get frustrated, okay, that's fine, and then we get out, we start blaming, and it's them, I was perfectly clear. Yeah, life's that simple. So if you were perfectly clear, how come the other person didn't understand? So when you're having a moment like that, I'm suggesting try turning it around. And it's not it's, again, you're not trying to challenge them or test them, but okay, what do you think I've said? What do you imagine I've said so far? What are you getting? Okay, what do you think I'm trying to say? Sincerely, what do you think I'm trying to say? Or what do you think I'm asking? Or even, pop the hood on it a little bit, what do you think I'm misunderstanding about the situation? I really, truly want to know. When you can ask them to give you their theory, really, it's a theory, their theory, because it's not even their experience of their theory about where the disconnect is, or their theory about what you're misunderstanding. Now you're going to get a lot of detailed information about the receiver of your message. This is like giving a customer survey, okay, to better understand the customer. You're asking them, okay, so what's your take on me in this situation? Not just what's your take, but where do you think I'm coming from? What do you think I misunderstand? What do you think I'm trying to say or do? Now, this can be challenging because sometimes people, it's not uncommon when things get heated or frustrated that people can experience other people as condescending, as arrogant, as pushy, as presumptuous, all this stuff. And you really, if you can get to a place where the other person can feel safe enough to say, hey, I understand I may be off, but this is my experience of you. Boy, you can be in the high country. You can cover so much ground. You can really establish a great deal of trust with that next level if one can do it successfully, okay? So consider turning it around. As much as I think it's at least as important to stick to an honest, simple expression of your experience in something, okay? Because we often waver from that. We don't want to own that. We want to talk about everything else but how I feel. Okay, as important as that is, this is something that I think can fit nicely, like another piece in the puzzle there. Approach it from a different angle. It's asking them, or, what do you think I'm thinking, or how do you think I'm coming from, okay? In general, I find the more different tools or angles we can approach something from, the fuller and richer understanding of it we have. And when we can do that with somebody else, it's an amazing way to deepen relationships and increase insight and wisdom, all that very powerful stuff. For even deeper dives into psychological techniques and principles, just click the link down below this video and you'll be automatically signed up for the free Sankey Says newsletter.